close this door real quick. Thank you. Alright. There's a vibe. Hi. Welcome to my little tiny corner of the internet. My face is disgusting. I know there's really disgusting people, but I did shower recently, so I'm clean. At least. You know, I know that sounds silly to brag about, but like, what we're doing. Oh yes, I went to the grocery store, I cleaned the fish's water, because that's important, because they have to live in their water. They're adorable. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Bop with the thingamabob and the, oh yes, so. Okay, oh wow, we already got viewers. Hi, welcome. Come in. Say hi in the chat. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna do a few. My grand plan for today, I should have changed it to frickin' Dungeons and Dragons. If I'd remembered to do that, I would have. So my plan for today is to do Arcana, because it's kind of fun and a good thing for a Saturday. It's a good Saturday vibe, honestly. And I kind of want to go through the races, and I'm doing a Greyhawk stream on Monday, by the way. Probably early morning. Hi! Sorry, it's really exciting when you show up, okay? I'm calm, cool, collected. You are very fun to have in the chat, and I'm just glad you're here. Let me do the thing. All right. Oh, and I need to screenshot the thing and send it to Christoph and ask him if it's good. The summary of Greyhawk that I did for the Discord. What else? We got this going. We got the other thing going. We're doing I'm getting involved with role play, and oh dang, they're doing a fun live thing on the in the TARDIS, which means that they're probably not Phantom showing something in the TARDIS theater. Okay. So probably not gonna. Well, I can ask anyway. Oh, so how have you been? How are you doing? Let's do. www. So, that. Bop. Okay. Oh, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, but I kind of already started streaming. This is a different Arcana than that Arcana, also. Because I had a plan to do something completely, also called Arcana, but, like, completely separate from that Arcana, which is also really cool, and I probably should watch at some point. And, but the thing about the whatchamajig. Oh, yes. Oh, did you see the thing? Sorry. I don't know if you saw it. I'll put it up on, the whatchamajig. Hang on. I have a whole, ta-da! That is a rendering that Brynhild, that Sig drew of Amethyst. Basically designed a new monk outfit for Amethyst, and basically I had very detailed description. I had no idea what she looked like, but I had a very detailed description of her clothes, and he's like, well, I'm buying her new clothes. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fair. And he's like, well, would you wear them? And I'm like, yeah, of course Amethyst would wear a new outfit if Brynhild bought her a new outfit. Like, that was before I saw the outfit. But she'd probably wear it at least once or twice, because, you know, you girl you're crushing on buys you a new outfit, you wear the new outfit at least once. Oh, yes, I'm doing the thing with the thing. Anyway, but what I was doing, which is called Arcana, sorry, I know I'm zooming around in circles. Circles are important, though. Okay. my point on was that I was going to open the thingamabob. I realized that's very specific. This is what I was going to open. So there's this Tales of Arcana is a it's a lot. It's very fun, but it's yes, still open. Good. Okay, hopefully it doesn't screw up that. Yeah. I think they're right. So, yeah. I need to photograph my grumpy little Triceratops for a Blue Box photo shoot thing, so I can show it put on the Blue Box thing that I got the Secret Santa present. Because I did show Neuromancer there, but, he's the cutest little grumpy Triceratops, and Pat deserves a shout out. I mentioned it was one of the Pats, but I didn't know which Pat to credit, so, so if I do this, it should, yep, it shows. So this is Tales of Arcana. It is for, a thingamabob. There we go. Bop. A little bit more. Yeah, it's a little much. Down one. Yeah, there we go. That's a pretty good. So it, Gorgon Cleric, thinking of vermin in the sight of, Capital 7. Oh, so there is a lot. Arcana, I started with the lore, right? Well, actually, I can hang on the credits page for a little while, because these guys deserve credit for being really, clever and creative. Basically, they took every concept ever and smushed them into one, and it kind of works-ish. There's a lot of lore. It's kind of mind-bending, which I went over on a previous stream, because I was, I put on my thing that I was streaming Dungeons & Dragons, right? So I had to actually, and it's a 5e supplement, so I was like, well, I have to actually do something Dungeons & Dragons-y, because truth in advertising. So I was like, alright. So then I, did the thing, and, brought this up, and, all that jazz. What else? Oh, right, I was gonna go to this one. Lord Gazumba is, okay, yes. I didn't get to see that, which is a shame, because, okay, beautiful. Okay, so, it's a pretty chill. Hopefully a few people will come and say by and say hello. Yes. Running, so yeah, this is really cool, because they have, a lot of stuff going on, and they have, a gajillion, races, new, playable races, so I am not opposed to that. I think they have, okay, let's see how many, yeah, they have this many, okay, alignment, rarity, size chart, languages, ability score, and mortality, the concept of race. Okay, so they have that little thing. Section 1, they had, so 8 to 23, right? That was, and a lot of that was just the cosmopolity of how all the planes fit together, and there's a lot. But, so they have a whole 5 pages on what race means, which is interesting thing and together. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's, I think, almost 15 in just, okay, that's, societies, groups, metaphysics, religion, miscellaneous, notable NPC, ooh, that's probably fun. But, if you look at how many there are, I wouldn't even be able to count. There's dozens. And, you know what? It's kind of awesome. So, we're doing, let's see, preface, the terminology, of the different ways lores work. So there's a map. I'll show you this one, which is the map of the multiverse thing that it's based on. I think there's a technical term. I remember I read all this and it was quite fascinating, but the void and heaven and godlands, and then the essence core, which is the very vibe of Then there's Dream and the Dream Lands, which are separate. And there's Arcanosphere and the Engines of Reality, which is apparently like a cast-off first version of the Mortal Realm that these Titans made that is still kind of kicking around, apparently. Because the creators created the Titans, who created the other things. There's a lot going on. There's also realms of gods as well, which is a whole thing. Oh, and then there were invading aliens, too, on top of that. But there's a lot, and it's a whole jam-packed full of lore. Probably missing something, and then there's a lot, like, you're going through the lore, and they say, oh, and by the way, at this point, Dracula, and wait, he's saying you didn't mention vampires were a thing, and now they're there. It's a lot, but it's really cool, and it's fascinating, so, but I wanted to do it today, because it's kind of a fun thing to do on a Saturday, when you're not sure, like, I'm doing Greyhawk Monday, and then Wednesday, we'll see, Wednesday, we'll see, maybe, should I do a late night Greyhawk? Nah, I feel like, I could do a late night Greyhawk. Hi! We agreed not to eat Toot Toot, remember? Remember, we agreed not to eat Toot Toot because Toot Toot was a person? Did we not agree to this? Oh yes, the thingamabob. Yes, oh yeah, true. I've never met a tasty pixie, but that's beside the point. Oh, wow, we have, like, lots of fun people coming. Okay, 4 viewers is a lot for me, okay? But, oh, right, so we were doing Arcana. My point on Arcana, as such, was that it was a fun thing to do on a Saturday afternoon because it's kind of a little wonky and just wild and out there and fun, and I thought maybe that's a good vibe for Saturday afternoon. Oh, and there's mega corporations, too, that took over the continent. And there are other continents, too. Like, I'm thinking that there's other stuff beyond the borders that we could look into. Okay, why don't we, Ice Age, early humans. Satan influenced the first humans to break the garden's rules, causing them to be exiled into the harsh, barren world. The Titan Promethea, who had fought against Metros, takes pity on the humans. She travels to the Essence Core to steal from it, giving magic to humans. She's punished, but humanity flourishes across Genesis. Genesis being the planet that they vibe on, which they somehow put a barrier up to keep it from anything else from getting in, because of the Space Invader things. Fae and the Gob. Okay. Just as life developed on Genesis, so too it arisen on other worlds. The invaders, highly advanced aliens, attempt to take Genesis for their own. However, they are defeated by a collection of celestial, infernal, and mortal races to prevent future invasions. A decree seals Genesis and its moons away from the rest of Elohim behind a barrier of solid nothingness known as the firmament. Right. So, like I said, there's a lot going on with this. The invaders brought their own pantheon to Genesis, the Fae and the Gob, being defined not by good and evil, but by beauty and ugliness, respectively. They create their own mortal races. Ogre, troll, and fae. The descendants of the Gob, ogres, and trolls spread their kingdoms across Genesis, as do the fairy courts. All of these civilizations subjugate dwarves, elves, and humans that lived in the regions. The native races war with the new conquerors, attempt to hide from prosecution. Archangel Cassiel becomes enraged at prosperity of non-human races, because he was the human. Preventing a decree, Cassiel caused a planet-wide flood. For this, Cassiel is banished to outer space by the Archangels. Most ancient civilizations, such as Atlantis, are lost beneath the waves. The Fae leave the plane, hypothetically. Let's see. Like I said, there is a lot of lore. This is just the basic, the last couple of 100 years, Well, okay, 1,000 years ago for the Blood War. So, okay, so it's the last 1,000, but still, it's a lot. Okay, we're gonna get to this soon, I promise. Okay, Height of the God Wars. That was when the God Wars were. Hang on. God Wars are. That's the Titan War. I didn't mention. Behemoth used in the Hammer Realmbreaker to shatter the mortal plane, creating hundreds of new realms. This event, which also destroys civilization and reshapes the surface of Genesis, forces the Pantheons and Archangels to decree a truce. They agree to retreat to their realms and establish a protocol for interacting with the mortal world in the future. Alright. The only race populous enough to recover from the God Wars are humans. Free from their oppressive Pantheons, but retaining their religion, humans now poised to become the dominant race on Genesis. Okay, so 1,800 years ago. This is where it gets interesting. After defeat of the evil Vilgnar, the empire is founded with the goal of establishing a multicultural, multiracial nation. It rapidly spreads, inviting hundreds of races and smaller nations into the fold. The Blood War, so 800 years after that, the non-magical human Tython Magath, known as the Blood King, becomes jealous of his accomplished sorcerer and mage brother Argus. Tython corrupts the empire with message of intolerance toward non-human and magic user. He leads the Bloodreich and its infernal machines and massacre across Arcana. Figures. Humans are always... So the Winter Age, Argus, also a realm-traveling navigator, ultimately defeats his brother by traveling to Equinox, the realm that regulates mortal seasons. He triggers a generation-long Winter Age that stops Titan's forces. The gods and archangels decree that navigators can no longer gain as much power as Argus in an effort to punish him for upsetting the natural order. Navigators are those who can traverse between realms. So... Massive planet. So there's Dark Below, which is the subterranean caves that sprawl beneath Genesis, are home to teeming civilizations, both ancient and modern. Hollow Genesis. The center of Genesis is home to a primordial world similar to Dinosaur. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot. Savage Wilds. Much of the world is covered by dangerous terrain and unexplored regions that few return from. Due to the use of skyships and chosen waygates, many are able to travel from one area of civilization to the other without ever setting foot in these dangerous and mysterious regions. Of course, they had to include dangerous and mysterious regions. But, like, you know... because, oh, and there's moons, too. Hang on. So there's, have many moons. Depending on one's location, the number of visible moons can change as many, hidden by other moons and phenomena. A few moons have special significance. Luna is visible from anywhere in Genesis and generally considered the prime moon, worshipped by some societies. Barsoom! Oh! I know that reference. I like it. The red moon, home to civilization recently conquered by the Romulan god Mars. Kolob, colonized by the Emperor and other nations using waygates. 40 years ago, the waygates that led to Kolob deactivated, leaving new inhabitants to struggle for survival. Basically, they got stuck there. Okay, that's fun. Metal Moon, a moon that with unique environments where most everything is covered in metal. Outer Moon, once an idyllic place similar to Genesis, but ravaged by infernals and wild unchecked magic. Ooh, I kind of want to go there. Several satellite. Once a celestial city in heaven, the silver satellite was moved into orbit around Genesis to prevent alien interference, unknown to most mortals. Ooh. Arcana is a supercontinent and the largest on Genesis. It's home to the strongest of political powers, focal point for the most important historical events, and destination for adventurers who want to make something of themselves. It contains all sorts of environments, from floating orb seas to cities made within mountainsides' bones. Dungeon delving, monster slaying, political intrigue, and occasional mayhem are all possible on Arcana. See, that's where the name Tales of Arcana comes from. That's the vibe. Okay, that's the main setting, because it's a setting guide for a D&D campaign. It's 5e compatible. I'm sure you could use other systems as well, but it's it's a technical term, statted and scaled to 5e. So no, that's that. If you want me to go over anything, like, or if it's getting to be too much and you want me to, like, I don't know, switch to Greyhawk or something, let me know in the chat. Like, I want to hear from you guys. But this is kind of fascinating, I think, and it's a fun thing to do on a Saturday afternoon, because I have to go into work later, and I want to hang out with you guys for a little bit before. Oh. And no eating toot-toot, also. Important factor. What else? Boom. Empire covers 3/4 of Genesis, ruled by President Queen Korra. From island of Melestra, the Emperor strives to provide for its citizens and respect the myriad cultures that exist within its fold, but bureaucracy and overexpansion have caused increasing problems for all its citizens. As the Empire heads a burgeoning industrial age, corporations have been exploring Empire laws about cultural tolerances, winning a verdict of court that corporate culture must be treated as though it were an indigenous one. Don't cancel our culture was their focus-tested rallying cry. Despite this, the Empire is still seen as the world leader, many who live outside its borders. Ooh, wonder what that's based on. The geography of Genesis and Arcana is intentionally vague and ill-defined. While maps can be useful for some, establishing geography can limit the narrative and lower potential for future creative endeavors. Some expressions of fantasy and science fiction, like video games, require defined locations for players to engage with the world. There will be vague descriptions of locations throughout this book, but you should feel free to customize Arcana to meet the designs of your campaign. Okay, so magic is... oh, cool. So this is where we end the lore. Lack of magic and technology does not inhabit their function if introduced, unless that is the defining feature of that location. There are some regions and realms. Magic is the altering of the rules of reality through supernatural means such as invocation, potion, or ritual. Magic can be used to conjure, create something from nothing, summon, transport something from another location, or alter, temporarily or permanently change something or something, along with countless other powers. Many magical practitioners spend years to attain the ability to perform some spells well, and a rare few are able to gain near godlike power with their mystical mastery. The power of magic emanates from many sources, but the gods are the various realms, such as the gods are various realms, but all magic operates along the same rules. Religions highly influenced by magic tend to have lower technology. Regions. Cool. That's fair. I mean, I understand that. I really like lore. That's my personal... Like, I'd never played 40k until... I never even ran a game. I've never actually officially done the war tabletop for 40k. I've never actually done Warhammer 40k, like, tabletop version. And I only got... I only realized that Fantasy Flight Games made the ones it made, like a couple, but, the lore is the best part, like, always lore, like, all the lore, all the time, that's the point of things, is lore. Sorry, I'm interested in lore, personally. Like, I like the creative potential of sharing other people's works. That's personally me. You don't have to hang, I'm glad you're hanging out anyway. I just think it's kind of fun to go over lore. I do too, but it's fun to see other people's lore and then, mix and match. It's just me. I love lore, and I love other people's lore and my own lore, and it's all up here, and just all of it makes me happy, alright? But I think this is kind of interesting, so... Do you want me to go on Greyhawk instead? Because we could go on the Greyhawk wiki instead of doing Arcana, if you'd rather. It might be fun. I purposely kept it rather vague, because it's Saturday, We're vibing. Technology is application of science and mathematics to improve the lives of those who use it, machines and research. Ay. You see, this is why I'm not good at choosing things. This is why... When you're fluid and bisexual, you can't choose. It's like a whole... I think it was what, if you're non-binary bisexual, you should be allowed to be exempt from making choices in anything ever. It's I'm not good at choices. Sorry, calm, cool, collected. No yawning. Focus. It's 1 o'clock. I'll keep going with Arcana for a little bit, but yeah, because I want to get to the race part. There are various levels of technology, from steam-powered machines to highly advanced robotics. While technology is meant to assist in everyday life, in some cases it has been abused to create weapons that can kill on immense scale, of course. Genesis is home to all types of technology, from ancient temple traps to recent trend of cybernetic enhancements. Magic gives users incredible power, but technology can create to mimic those effects for non-magical. Regions highly influenced by technology thrive due to lack of magic users. Though infrequent, there's some regions, yes, in realms where neither magic nor technology have taken hold. This may be due to religion or some other historical quirk. The lack of magic and technology does not inhibit their function if introduced, unless that is a defining feature of that location. Some societies have learned to fuse magic and technology. See, Magitech. This is how you go. You rule Magitech. That is the best form of tech, is Magitech, because when you combine the forces, you create things that are even more powerful. This can be crude, such as recording and playing an incantation on a cassette player, or advanced, such as imprinting a spell on the staff a non-magic or magic user can activate. These civilizations are rare, and many of them exist in the footnotes of history. This magic technology allows the non-magical to access powerful spells. Many of these devices require ancient or alien lore to operate. Typical and fictional worlds, fantasy and science fiction, are separate. Why would a world with magic need tech? How could a world of tech functionally different from a world with magic? Additionally, some may believe that one is more powerful than the other. This doesn't need to be the case. Of course, frickin' Star Wars is the best example of magitech. The Force is frickin' space magic. Can we all just agree on that? I mean, the midichlorians might be the conduit behind it, but it's frickin' space magic. You know, it's space magic. It's just space magic. And they have starships at the same time. And it works. It works. The space magic works. Like, it... And Metamorph City is other example. Magitech is amazing, and it's not unique to this, as some might believe, but it is a vibe. And then, of course, there's Clarke's axiom, which is significantly analyzed magic is indistinguishable from technology, and significantly advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Like, at a certain point, they're just two sides of the same coin, which is you know, a thing. And it's exciting. Sorry, I've always held by Clarke's axiom. Technology may replicate the effects of magic on a wider populace, but the populace would be dependent on their devices. In combat, mage might unleash a terrible spell, but a sniper could take him out at a distance. These worlds can function parallel to each other or be intertwined in unique and creative ways. Exactly. Alignment. The information on this page appears in 5e rules and has been updated to reflect Arcana and races. Typical creature with the game world has an alignment which broadly describes its moral and personal attitudes. Alignment is a combination of two factors. One identifies morality, good, evil, and neutral, and the other describes attitude towards society and order, lawful, chaotic, or neutral. These brief summaries of the 9 alignments describe the typical behavior of a creature with that alignment. Individuals may vary significantly from that typical behavior, and few people are perfectly consistently faithful to the precept of their alignment. Lawful good, creatures can be counted on to do the right thing as expected by society. Angels, Orcish, paladins, and most dwarves are lawful good. Neutral good. Folks do the best they can to help others according to their needs. Many humans, elves, puppets, and gnomes are neutral good. Chaotic good. Creatures act as their conscience directs, with little regard for what others expect. Clowns and fey dragons are chaotic good. Okay, clowns. Lawful neutral. Individuals act in accordance with the law, tradition, and personal codes. Minotaurs, some orcs, and many monks, and some wizards are lawful neutral. Neutral is the alignment of those who prefer to steer clear of moral questions and don't take sides, doing what seems best at the time. Furbolgs, most druids, and many goblins are neutral. My best character was true neutral. Flinth. They were, to be fair, this most recent version of Flinth is leaning more toward chaotic side than true neutral, but still kind of a vibe, neutrality vibe. They're a lot of fun to play. They're I don't know if you've seen the recent meme, but they're wine stepmom, basically. And Flinth is awesome. Also, the first character I ever played who wasn't a cis female, so a cis woman. That was the first character I ever played who wasn't a cis woman. Just generic. She was. Well, they were. God, I keep misgendering them, which is really annoying. But there is one version of Flinth that uses she/her pronouns, and then the other versions use they them, and are definitely not female in the strictest sense. I mean, physically, yeah, but not in the strictest proper moral womanhood sense, like myself. Well, or like myself, they are not in the strictest proper intrinsic sense women, but I mean, you know how it is. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Chaotic neutral. Creatures follow their whims, holding personal freedom above all else. Fairies, many barbarians and rogues, and some bards are chaotic neutral. Lawful evil. Creatures methodically take what they want within the limits of code of tradition, loyalty, and order. Demons are lawful evil. Neutral evil. The alignment of those who do what they can get away with without compassion or qualms. Vampires and Naga are neutral evil. Chaotic evil. Creatures that act with arbitrary violence, spurred by their greed, hatred, and bloodlust. Devils, Grem, and vermin are chaotic evil. Unaligned. Creatures that lack capacity for rational thought do not have an alignment. Such a creature is incapable of making moral or ethical choices and acts according to its bestial nature. Sharks and yahoos can be vicious predators, for example, but they are not evil, they have no alignment. In early editions, alignment had important mechanical implications for character gameplay. This is no longer the case. Characters are complex and can't be judged solely by good and lawful and evil and chaotic. An angel, lawful good, executes non-believers, an action that they feel is just and dedicated by religious protocol. If a character's morality is subject to their experience, and they follow laws that may be unjust, a lawful good character can be more malicious than a chaotic evil one. Alignments appear in this book to allow readers to get a better sense about general attitude or race toward the world. They can be beneficial for creating NPCs. Players can deviate from these alignments if they make sense for their character's story. An angel can be played chaotic evil or devil lawful good. Beings with inherent natures, such as celestial and infernals, can also be changed. These alignments should not be used to restrict player options. Alright. When traveling across Arcana, adventurers meet many individuals from all sorts of races, some more often than others. Humans are the most populous race in Arcana, but it would be unusual to visit even the smallest town without encountering other races. The rarities listed below are explained from the perspective of a common human villager, a small to medium-sized village in a central location along at least one trading route. In the fire escape, the fire elemental would be common and the human would be rare, but the intent is to convey rarity in a typical Arcana adventuring scenario. Common races are expected to be encountered, often on a daily basis. Encountering a common race would not be out of the ordinary. Uncommon races are encountered from time to time. They're not going to raise any eyebrows, and encountering them is expected. These races are known and part of the everyday world. Rare races are known but unexpected to find. Beings from other regions or realms might be known but would not usually be in this area. Legendary races are those that are known but have never been seen before. Encountering a legendary race would be a major life event, something that one might tell stories about for years to come. Mythical races are those thought to be a myth. Similar to legendary, the difference is that one would think it impossible to meet one of these beings. Unknown races have no recorded encounters with the public at large. That doesn't mean they don't exist. The average Arcanan tech goon hasn't seen one before, so it there's no record, there's no nothing. Alright. The Adventuring Guild, the Emperor's legal adventuring bureau, requires all adventurers to complete cultural training as part of receiving a license. Adventurers are meant to be respectful to other races and cultures. This outlook is similar to the philosophies of the Federation from earlier incarnation of the Star Trek television series or the Orville's Planetary Union. That doesn't mean racial tensions don't exist, just that the Emperor strives to overcome them. Size, medium, fur, small, tiny. Okay. In the following entries, race may appear larger or smaller on the page compared to each other than they might be expected to be in the world. And then they have I don't know if you can see this, but they have the little chart here. So large would be a giant, or a medium is a troll. They have the three mediums, like a dwarf and a human and a troll, I guess. And then I don't know, Firbolg, that guy, but he's very small. And then you got the tiny, which is like pixies. Actually, though, I think tiny is a foot or less. 2 feet is on the small end of small. And then there's the freaking... Okay, so...